strategy fit?
Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We are pulling back the curtain on one of the absolute most fascinating intersections in digital business today, and that's leveraging artificial intelligence to build genuine, robust online income. Today we're looking at the foundational strategies from the Hustleverse Movie Studio Mindset Group. We're specifically focusing on a 10-minute-a-day challenge that takes simple software and transforms it into multiple streams of revenue. We are going to explore exactly how AI-generated content can be used to create really fun, incredibly creative, and highly profitable online businesses. So if you have ever wondered how the pros turn basic tools into a living, breathing business, you are absolutely in the right place.
So here's our roadmap for the explainer today. First up, we have the power of UGC. Second, AI tools for income. Third, setting trends to stand out. Fourth is building know, like, trust. And finally, number 5, the UGC blueprint itself. And I promise you, by the end of this, we are going to connect AI software, 90s hip-hop fashion, and high-value lead magnets into one incredibly cohesive strategy. I know it sounds a little crazy right now, but trust me, it all makes perfect sense.
Section 1. The power of UGC and unlocking user-generated content. Now, before we get totally lost in all the amazing tech and software, we really need to establish the core foundational concept of this entire strategy.
User-generated content, or UGC, is pretty much the absolute cornerstone of modern digital marketing. Essentially, this is content created by an actual real-life user of a specific product or service. They take their authentic, real-world experience and they just share it with their target audience to market and promote that product. And the reason this is so wildly powerful is because it completely bypasses that stiff corporate marketing feel and instead relies on a genuine human experience. And the brilliant part? This applies to absolutely everything. It could be a physical product you hold in your hand, an online training, a webinar, or even a health and wellness supplement. The whole key here is just the user sharing their direct, unfiltered experience.
Section 2, AI tools for income and breaking the credit limits. Let's move to and see how this builds into the technology side of things. Because let's be real, creating all this content manually can be an absolute grind.
The source material points out a massive bottleneck in the AI industry right now. Standard AI tools, well, they severely limit your potential. They lock you into these recurring monthly fees, and honestly, worse than that, they restrict you with monthly credit limits. Think about it. Your ability to generate income literally stops the second you run out of credits. It's a hard wall. On the flip side, the Hustleverse strategy utilizes specific AI tools that give you unlimited access for just a single lifetime payment. And guys, this is exactly how AI tools create income. When you finally strip away those suffocating credit restrictions, you can instantly scale. You can generate hundreds of pieces of user-generated content across 10 different niches at the exact same time, creating these multiple automated pipelines that drive revenue straight into your business.
Section 3. Setting trends to stand out and the crisscross mindset. Okay, so you have the AI tools and you understand UGC. But here's the thing. Just having the tools isn't enough to actually succeed. You have to have the right mindset.
So I want to pose this question directly to you. How do you stand out? You know, you can take an amazing product, you can use powerful AI tools, and you can promote it the exact same way that 100,000 other people are promoting it. But if you do that, you're just going to blend right into the background noise. To generate real, sustainable income, you need a massive mindset shift. You have to find a totally out-of-the-box way to build your business. And this brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about. To understand this mindset, we have to look back at the early 90s hip-hop duo Criss Cross. So Criss Cross made music and shot videos pretty much just like every other rap group of their era. But they didn't just follow the trend of wearing regular clothes. No, they set a massive trend. They wore baggy jumpsuits entirely backward. I mean, just think about how uncomfortable that is for a second. Back pockets in the front, zippers in the back. If you saw someone doing that on a normal Tuesday, you'd think they had lost their minds, right? But because they were influential, they created an out-of-the-box style that literally defined an entire generation of youth fashion. In your digital marketing business, you have to be Criss Cross. You simply can't just be one of the 100,000 people doing the exact same thing. You have to put your own unique spin on the product to make it extraordinary.
Section 4. Building know, like, trust, and influence and value. Now, becoming a trendsetter like that requires a very specific kind of relationship with your audience. But before you can even build that trust, you have to know your worth within a system. $18 million. Let that massive number sink in for a second. That number actually comes from a recent lawsuit where hip-hop mogul Jermaine Dupri, who, by the way, signed Criss Cross, sued Sony for a huge royalty deficit regarding artists like Mariah Carey and Usher. The source highlighted an interview Dupri did on the Earn Your Leisure podcast, and the lesson here is profound. You can play your part perfectly within a system, but if you find out you are being shortchanged and manipulated out of your royalties, you have to take a stand. $18 million is that tipping point where you just say, okay, enough is enough, it is time to take action. To succeed online, you must protect your intellectual property and your royalties. Fiercely safeguarding the value of your content is exactly how you protect your digital income.
And protecting your value really means building a dedicated audience by acting as a true influencer in your niche. Music artists and actors, they are absolute masters at this. They build the know, like, and trust factor better than anybody else. They show up authentically as everyday people on social media, just sharing their unique thoughts and views. And once you establish that core trust factor, your audience will follow your lead. The source points out that even if an influencer's opinion sounds completely crazy to an outsider, their target audience will agree with them and follow them. I mean, literally even to the point of turning their clothes backwards. So the absolutely crucial point here is this: build the trust, and your audience will follow whatever trends you set.
Which brings us to Section 5, the UGC blueprint, and creating a living lead magnet. Let's take all of this, the UGC, the unlimited AI tools, the trend-setting mindset, and actually turn it into a practical, actionable blueprint.
Here is the exact chronological blueprint the host used to create the ultimate business asset. Step 1. He attended a completely free live AI summit on YouTube, just soaking up knowledge. Step 2. While he was listening in the background, he extracted just one highly valuable piece of information, literally a tip others would easily pay $97 for. Step 3. He instantly implemented that knowledge to enhance a dynamic Canva document he was already building for his community. And Step 4. He offered it as an ongoing lead magnet. Guys, this is the ultimate mechanism for income creation. You use AI to multiply your knowledge into a highly valuable tool that captures your perfect target audience, organically turning free viewers into a highly monetizable email list. And the result of that specific blueprint? 44 pages of pure, undiluted value. Look, when most digital marketers offer a lead magnet, they just throw together a basic 10-page fluff piece filled with info you could have easily Googled yourself. But this Hustleverse Movie Studio UGC blueprint, it's a dense, highly actionable 44-page manual, and it is AI that makes generating a comprehensive document like this incredibly fast and efficient. It goes totally above and beyond because true value isn't just about stacking a bunch of useless bonuses together to look impressive. It's about providing deep, actionable knowledge that actually helps someone operate and grow their business.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what the creator of this 44-page blueprint stated. He said, "I value my time at least $100 an hour." Because he spent well over an hour carefully crafting this specific document, he assigned it a $97 value right at the bottom of the page. But honestly, based on his time alone, it's severely undervalued. Yet he is giving it away completely for free to his community. It's just a prime example of putting incredible premium effort into a resource so that your audience instantly recognizes your authority, and that builds unshakable trust. Furthermore, the format itself is completely revolutionary. This isn't just a static, boring PDF that you download once and then it just gets lost in your files forever. No, it is hosted as a Canva doc, making it a living manual. Think of it kind of like a toaster manual. Sure, a toaster is simple, but for complex digital business operations, you need to continually reference the manual to ensure you aren't making critical mistakes. Because it's hosted in Canva, the creator can go in and update the information in real time as the digital landscape changes. And you, the user, get continuous ongoing value without doing a thing. This one simple tweak makes the document far more valuable than 95% of the lead magnets out there today.
So we have covered the sheer power of authentic, user-generated content. We've talked about the unlimited potential of having the right AI tools, the absolute necessity of the crisscross trend-setting mindset, and the exact blueprint to capture your audience with a living lead magnet. I want to leave you with this final vital question. Are you ready to stop following the trends and start using AI to set them? The tools are available, the blueprint is sitting right in front of you. Now it's simply a matter of taking action today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see the trends you create.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me, yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realize purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't in applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. Let's say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason, I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling, I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting, no more waiting, no more chasing, no more chasing. Internal driver, that's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it look like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated, they the most committed to something deeper than motivation. I don't need a reason, don't need a reason. I am the reason, am the reason. I don't need the feeling, don't need the feeling. I move with meaning, move with meaning. No more waiting, no more waiting, no more chasing, no more chasing. Internal driver, that's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it. Borrowing it.
I finally figured out why creating content was taking me all day. I kept treating every post like it had to start with a brand new idea.
Then I found a tool that turns one idea into an entire week of content.
Now one video becomes captions, emails, reels, and posts without me rebuilding everything.
I'm posting more, spending less time creating, and finally getting my day back.
If content is taking over your life, it might be time to stop creating everything from scratch.
Comment UGC for the Hustleverse AI UGC blueprint.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is strong 57, day 1, and we are right at 17 minutes into today's challenge. So let's do what we do. Let's peel back the curtain to expose the most valuable document in all of online marketing. Now today, it's a Monday, and it's kind of feeling like a Monday. On Saturday and Sunday, I relax a little bit. And when I say relax a little bit, I mean I don't do the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge because I've reserved that for Monday through Friday. So I've given myself a schedule, right? I've given myself a personal schedule. Nothing that somebody else told me that I had to do. Nothing that, I had a boss who said, hey, this is what you have to do on these days of the week, and this is what you're going to do. No, I'm my own boss. I do what it is that I choose to do. And I made a plan and a schedule for myself. And I've adhered to that schedule for 57 weeks consistently. So on the weekend, on that Saturday and Sunday, I relax a little bit when it comes to that. But I don't completely relax because my passion fuels me every single day that I wake up. And I want to ask you guys this question. Are you living with passion, or are you living just because, your heart hasn't stopped? You know, your, your your blood is still flowing. Is it just something that, is just happening to you on a daily basis? Do you just happen to wake up every morning and you're like, hey, I'm still here. So, let me just do what I have to do because I'm still here. Or are you waking yourself up out of your sleep? Are you having dreams about the next day, waking up and getting back to your passion? Is that something that actually wakes you up and fuels you? Well, for me, what I do on a daily basis is something that fuels me and is something that I'm so passionate about that I can't stop doing it. Monday through Friday, I give you more value, and I'm gonna be a little petty for a second, right? I give you more value than 99% of people online give you. That's a fact. I don't care what disputing or who you want to put up against me as far as from a value standpoint. I have no competition. That's how I feel strongly. But when I'm not doing this, I'm still putting in work. I'm creating content because that's what I love to do. I have a passion for it. But just like you might have a passion for what you like and love to do, there's people that really don't give a damn about your passion. They only care about their particular passion, their ways of doing things, and their ways of doing things to them is the only way that things can get done. And your way might not be valuable to them. That's okay. That's okay. We all have to learn, and we all might come to a time and a point in our life where we experience a case where you're riding high, you're passionate about something, you feel as though you have the greatest thing to offer. But then when you present it to someone, they look at you like you have two heads. Or they find themselves confused by what you're saying. It's like you're speaking a foreign language. Now, me personally, I speak English. Sometimes I speak Long Island English, but I still feel as though I'm coherent. I feel as though, you know, if I'm speaking English to somebody else that speaks English, that they should still be able to, understand what I'm saying, even when I use my New York accent, right? That's not always the case. Now, no matter where you're from, what exact language you speak, I know on a daily basis you're sharing information and your goal is to convey a message to your target audience. And you want your target audience to understand you. You want them to feel exactly what you're saying so that they can take action. You want to be able to give them a sense of clarity. And a lot of times you think that you are clear in what you're saying and how you're delivering your message. And you expect everybody to, pick up on what you're saying. But we learn in our industry of online marketing, and if I want to just be specific when it comes to affiliate marketing, or even more uh, deeper, another layer deeper than just the niche itself, but the specific strategy, the specific formulas used. One strategy in particular is trainings and live webinars. A lot of people go to these trainings and they listen to people that speak technically the same language as they do. It doesn't matter if the person has a strong accent, but if they're using if you speak English and they're using English words, you hear what they're saying, but a lot of times you're not fully understanding what they're saying. It's not translating to you correctly. You're getting some points, but you're not getting the main information that you need to get. So I found myself in a situation this past weekend where I was in a business meeting. I was talking to some of my business partners, and it was presenting me uh, some information about a project that we're working on. Now, they have their specific way of doing things, and it works. And I have my specific ways of doing things, and it works. But sometimes when you try to combine your world with the world of someone else's, it's like when two worlds collide. Sometimes they can't really collide. Sometimes it's not easy for them to connect. It's kind of like planets. Everything needs to be aligned, but planets cannot collide. If they collide, there's going to be some destruction. The solar system, all of these planets, they circle around each other. They're all functioning together, but they have to keep a specific distance from each other for everything to work properly. They have to spin around each other. They orbit. They have their atmospheres. There's different things that's going on in between their connection points, but they're connected. They're part of the whole solar system. But each planet does its own thing. Now, you know, I'm not an expert on, the planets and everything like that. But as I often tell you, there's not too many things that I don't know something about. I can walk into just about any room and be able to add a perspective or a way of, some type of value to the conversation, no matter what it is. That's just me. I like to learn, I like to expand my mind, and I like to be able to, you know, be a contributing factor to every type of situation. So, this past weekend when I was having this conversation with my business partners, I presented a extra piece of value, I'll call it, to what they were doing. Now, I'm not a specific expert in what in every aspect of what they're doing, but I understand it. I know what they're doing. And I found myself in a situation where my message wasn't being understood. And I found myself in a situation where being an expert in my particular field of study, being the expert in that particular setting, communicating with, business partners who aren't as fluent in what it is that I do. And when they come to me, they want to learn. They want to know exactly how I feel about this, that, and the third, and what it is that, I can see as far as enhancing everything. But I found myself explaining something that I thought was pretty simple. Me myself, I thought it was pretty simple as how I was explaining it. And then as the conversation progressed, I realized that our two planets, so to speak, they weren't, they weren't connected. It was something lost in translation. Not only was it something lost in translation, it was a completely different, you know, chain of thought. It was a completely different, it's hard to explain exactly what it was. It was like those two planets. It was like those planets spinning around each other. Each has its own function once again. But this planet can't operate it, can't operate like this other planet. You can't take the people from this planet that's used to breathing this specific type of air, that's used to this type of gravity, and then bring them to another planet where the air might be a little bit thicker, where it's hard for them to breathe, where they can't breathe, where the gravity is different and it's pulling them down and they can't move within that. Sometimes life can be like that. You can be, used to your own environment so much that once when you get introduced to a whole different environment, it becomes a challenge. It becomes that much of a challenge that you can't breathe, you can't move, and everybody else around you that belongs on that planet, so to speak, they're moving around smoothly and they're looking at you like, what's the problem? Like what's going on? Now, one of the biggest challenges you'll face in your online business, whether you're dealing with one person that might have sent you a message, they're confused. They're on their own planet of thought and you're on yours. They're sending you a message and they want to know some information. And then you start trying to bring them into your world, your planet. In the beginning, it might be strong, might be hard for them to actually breathe. They're listening to you. They're trying to figure out and they're trying to understand exactly what are you saying? What are these terms that you're using? What is it that you're really asking them to do? And you might have to reiterate. You might have to restate. You might have to, approach things differently over and over and over again in order for them to understand, in order for the air to start to thin out a little bit for them so that they can breathe a little easier. You might have to add a extra, you know, piece of gravity or take away some gravity. Sometimes you have to add and remove some features and benefits from what it is that you do. You have to remove the complication. Sometimes you have to make things simpler in order for people to be able to grasp it. And this weekend was one of those challenging situations where, you know, as I stated, I believe that I speak English. I believe that I speak a form of English that can be understandable to 99% of people. I believe that personally. Now, you might believe the same thing about what you're sharing and what you're displaying online every single day to your target audience. You might think that it's perfectly clear, but in actuality, it's not. And you might find that you start to get a little frustrated by it because you don't expect to have to explain things over and over and over. And once when you get to the point where you've explained it and you think that you've simplified it in a way that, you know, you can't simplify it anymore and it's still not being understood, that can put you in a place of, confusion. So today, today is Take Your Heart Back Monday, right? So I just wanted to give you this quick message. I want you to start thinking in a simple, duplicatable manner. I want you to start thinking about what you can do simple and that can be duplicated to the next person that you're sharing your information to. One of the things that I learned years ago is that I have a unique talent for actually getting people to not do what they say that they want to do. I have a unique talent for that. I realize that. Now, I want to, find a way to package that up and how to make that profitable. That's something I'm still working on. But I found that I have a way of sharing information with people that gets them to really think about what it is that they're interested in, what it is that they think that they might want to do. Now, some people, or I should say just about everybody and a mama, as they say, wants to know how to make more money. They want to learn how to build a business and do this, that, and the third. But the ultimate goal is they just want to be able to increase their income, right? I've had so many conversations over the course of the last 15 plus years of being in this industry. And I would say that 99% of the time, it's been similar results. I've seen consistent things inside of some people. I can tell when, people's eyes start to glaze over, when their mind starts to spin. Sometimes that gets me excited because at a point when you get so good at one particular thing, even if whether it's a good or a bad thing, and you're able to identify that point where a person is completely lost, when they're about to check out. I've seen it so many times. I've explained something to someone, and I have a way, like I said, a unique talent for explaining things in a way that really get people to question what it is that they're trying to do. And I don't mind it. because my overall goal isn't to convince you to do something that you absolutely should not be doing. Not for the purposes of making money. I'm not going to sell you a product or service just so I can earn an income and for you to still be left confused and for you to still be left with not really being the right person for the product. See, a lot of people online, they will sell you something just for the purpose of them earning an income. And I don't even want to say a lot of people. I would say the majority of people online, I don't care what they say. If they say they want to help you, sure, sure. Everybody says they want to help. But of course, their end goal is their personal well being. Their end goal is for you to make a decision that's going to benefit them. That's that's just the name of the game for the majority of these people online. But me myself, maybe it's because of where I'm from. I often tell you guys, where I'm from, you can't get away with a lot of this shit that you see online. A lot of this stuff that people get away with online, you can't get away with that in real life. And I take that with me everywhere I go. I know for a fact that I can't screw somebody over in real life and expect to be able to get away with it. You know, payback is a mother, so to speak. You know, it's not, online people say, hey, money back guarantee, hey, refund. Yeah, yeah, refund. Yeah, just pay the money back. But in real life, sometimes there's real consequences behind, you know, being a scammer, being somebody that, is just out to get people to take action just for your own personal benefit. Sometimes there's real life consequences in that. And me personally, I take real life situations and I bring it to you online because I want you to understand fully that the online world isn't too much different from the offline world, and you shouldn't treat it differently. Don't get online and think that you can become somebody that you're really not. Don't get online and think that just because you're behind a laptop, you might be in a whole other country, that now you're safe. You're safe from, retribution. You're safe from that payback. Yeah, you might be safe because you're far away from somebody, but still, having morals and principles is something that, you know, a lot of people don't live by. But me personally, you know, I can't be that type of person that doesn't live off of, morals and principles. I feel it in my gut. I don't care if you're on the other side of the world. I'm not going to tell you to to do this, that, and the third, knowing that you are not the right person to do it. I don't care how much money is involved. But that puts me in a specific position. That puts me in a position where, hey, I won't be the most, the richest person in the industry. I won't be the most financially successful person in the industry because I'm not willing to compromise like most other people are willing to compromise. That's cool. That's cool because one of my passions, one of the things that I'm most passionate about is, you know, something that, I refer to on a consistent basis, but I don't speak directly to it. See, we all have things that inspire us and motivate us. And the one thing that I always want you guys to do is be inspired and motivated by good things. And I want you to, follow suit. Now this right here isn't a religious talk because I don't go to church. So if I was to say, hey, start quoting some scriptures and stuff like that, and if I don't live 100% by the book, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. It's just, hey, I could piece some stuff together. But there's some things in life that, you know, you get inspired and motivated by. And I often tell you guys of, my some of my inspirations, the things that inspire and motivate me. And the one thing that comes to my mind is how I started the Hustlers 10 Minute a Day Challenge over a year ago. And I started it on the birthday of one of the persons or one of the people that inspired me the most throughout my life. One of the greatest artists, in my personal opinion, one of the greatest leaders, in my personal opinion, Mr. Tupac Shakur. And one of the things that I always remember him saying and stating is that he was one of the realest people there was. Period. He's going to give it to you straight and he's going to give it to you real. And that's something that I'm passionate about. See, I don't follow people for the reasons or the same reasons that a lot of people follow them. I don't listen and quote lyrics from people and I don't really believe in what I'm saying or quoting. Every part of my life, every aspect, everything that I do is based in foundational principles. And me personally, I can relate. I connect with, the teachings of, people that inspire me because those are the things that I believe in also. I believe honestly I'm one of the realest motherfuckers you'll ever meet and that you'll ever decide to partner with if you decide to partner with me. And I'm not willing to compromise. Just like Tupac, he wasn't willing to compromise. That's what I respect. That's what I'm inspired by and motivated by. And that's why if we were to partner with each other, that's why you should feel confident in the person that you choose to partner with. See, I'm always going to be me. I'm always going to do what it is that I want to do. I'm always going to give it to you the way I want to give it to you. And yes, I'll take some suggestions, but I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to change who I am and become somebody else just to fit a specific standard, just to sell a product or service. So today, on Take Your Heart Back Monday, I want you to just stay focused. I want you to go into work, if you're going into work today and you already have you know, a thought in your mind as to how this week is going to go, because, last week might not have gone that good for you. I want you to get rid of those thoughts. I want you to put those thoughts aside. All of the people that you talked to last week, all of the people that didn't understand you last week, I want you to say, okay, that's cool. I'm going to keep it simple and duplicatable this week. I want to focus on simple and duplicatable. And I'm not going to compromise. I'm going to stay my course. I'm going to continue being me. I'm going to continue doing what it is that I'm passionate about. But I'm going to keep it simple and duplicatable. So that's what I want you guys to do. So today, going to work feeling passionate. You might not like or love your job, but I want you to think about the things that you're passionate about and that you are going to take action on, because certain situations don't last forever. Life doesn't last forever, and it could be over by the end of today. So you deserve to live as much of that time that you have available with as much passion and enjoyment as you can possibly find. You know what you like and love to do. We have a community here within the Hustleverse that welcomes you, that respects your point of view, that respects your planet. What you got going on in your planet, somebody else got something else going on in theirs. We respect it all. And we want you to be free to express yourself here inside the Hustleverse. So that's what our community is designed to bring. So let's make today the start of a strong week, a great, strong, passionate week. So, with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. I got a little bit off topic. I ain't even, sometimes I think about what I want to talk to you guys about, and then right down to the last second, right after, the intro. Sometimes things change, or during the intro. Like I'm watching the most inspirational song, there is, internal driver, something that, I created in partnership with the AI. And I'm not just saying it because it's something that I created myself, right? But I truly believe that it's one of the most powerful songs ever made. That's my personal opinion. If you don't feel that way, you know, I could be really real right now and I could say how I feel in my New York accent, but I'm not going to do that because I want to keep it PG. But however you feel is however you feel. I don't have to agree, but it is what it is. But I listen to that and I hear the lyrics. And when we talk about things that inspire and motivate, lyrics is everything. The things that people say, how they say it. They speak in English. That song is in English. I understood every word because it's something that I live. It's something that I truly believe in. It's something that I have a passion for. And that's why that song is so powerful because it comes from a real place. And while I'm listening to it, it gives me all types of, feelings, all types of inspiration. And sometimes it makes me change up the message and what I'm actually going to present to you. So it is what it is. I just go with what comes to me in that particular moment. So with that, once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow so that we can continue on this journey. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope that, you start thinking more about what you're passionate about. And I want you to join me inside the private group and start getting active. Start getting active. I know the reason why a lot of people aren't active is because they've never met anybody with passion before. They never had a business partner that truly respected what it is that they have to offer. And more than likely, you probably feel like what you have isn't of value or that somebody else might not respect it. So you keep your mouth closed. You avoid posting, you avoid sharing, you avoid communication because you feel like how I often feel like I'm speaking English, but they just don't understand me. I mean that, if they don't understand me, then maybe nobody will understand me. So maybe I should just keep my mouth closed. Well, I'm telling you this. I don't care what it is that you're passionate about. As long as it's not anything negative and criminal, I respect it. Bring your passion here to the Hustleverse. Share your passion with me. Even if you don't want to share it with anybody else in the group, share it with me because I want to be that person that you want to connect with and that you feel comfortable with, sharing your passion with. All right. So let me hop off before I get into a whole nother spill, right? So I appreciate you. I hope your day goes amazing. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Once again, see you in the next live.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first. But in silence, even whispers can quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create, etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day, turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. Till my PayPal pinged, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name. Now hustle berry on loop like healing chance, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create, etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day, turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, it's a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type. Blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face.